everyone, so in this lesson we're going to learn 2 more chords from our handbook. So if you want to open up to pages 6 and 7 in your Step 2 handbook, the 2 chords that we're going to be looking at today are G major and D minor. Okay, so if we turn to page 6, okay, G major chord is the one that's in the middle. And again, you're used to playing this 3-string version where you just put your 3rd finger down on the very first string at the 3rd fret. Okay, we're now going to learn the full version of this. Okay, so if you want to, you can put your 3rd finger down where you're used to it being. And all we're now going to do is add on 2 more fingers. So we're going to take our first finger, our index finger, and we're going to put it all the way up to string number 5 on the 2nd fret. Then we're going to take our 2nd finger and we're going to put it right up to string number 6. That's the string closest to the ceiling. And we're just going to then strum all 6 strings. Okay, very important to try and remember to strum all 6 strings. Remember to keep using the tips of your fingers. Don't allow your fingers to kind of fall flat on the neck of the guitar and rub up against the strings, but kind of keep your fingers arched. And just try and strum all 6 strings. Okay, so that's G major. That's the full version of G major. And this will probably feel a little bit awkward in comparison to the 3-string version, but don't worry. Just like everything else, if we practice it, we'll get used to it and eventually it'll become easy. So the next chord that we're going to take a look at is D minor. Okay, and it's on page 7, and it's the chord that's sort of in about the middle of the page. And you'll see that we're using 3 fingers if you're looking at your chord diagram. So you'll see that we have a number 1, and that number 1 is on the 1st string, 1st fret. So we're using our 1st finger, 1st string, 1st fret. Okay, and then we're putting our 2nd finger, that's why it says number 2. We're putting our 2nd finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. And then we're putting our 3rd finger, that's why it says number 3, on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. And this time we're only strumming 4 strings, okay, so the bottom 4 strings. Okay, so take some time just to practice those. You don't need to get them perfect, but just trying to get them as clear as you can. And once you do that, let's flick over to rhythm study number 1. You might want to pause the video to practice those chords, and that's fine before you go on. But let's move on to rhythm study number 1. So back to page 10. We've already been practicing the C chord and the A minor chord, and we're now going to practice D minor and G. So as we'd already said in the other tutorial, we're doing 4 strums per bar per chord. And we're just going to jump to the 3rd bar where it says DM, that's our D minor chord. We're just going to skip C and A minor for the moment and just jump straight to DM or D minor. We're going to play that 4 times. Just going to like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go to our new G major chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you might want to pause the video again and practice moving between D minor and G a few times, trying to get used to where to put your fingers. It'll start off that you'll maybe have to put your fingers down one at a time, and that's okay for the first while as you're beginning. And now what we're going to do is go back to the start, and we're going to play C, A minor, D minor and G. Okay, so start off with C. Let's do our first 4 strums, so we'll count after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then C. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then D minor. 1, You probably noticed I had a little gap between my chord changes, and that's okay at the start, but eventually what we're going to try and do is be able to move between the chords without any stopping, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. In A minor, 1, 2, 3, 4. D minor, 1, 2, 3, 4. In G, 1, 2, 3, 4. Will take a long time to get, we'll say long time, it'll take you a good while to kind of be able to move between those chords. So don't worry, don't get discouraged or disappointed if you find it tricky to move between these chords. I found it difficult at the start, but with a little bit of practice I gradually got better and better. Another little tip, if you're wanting to try and get your chords your chord changes as quick as possible, is try to work on placing your fingers on the strings at the same time. So once you get confident with where you need to put your fingers for each of the chords, start trying to be able to put all your fingers down on the strings at the same time. That will really help you speed things up. So if you notice here, say for example I was moving between A minor and D minor, rather than going like this, rather than putting my one finger down one at a time from a D minor like that. What I have worked on and practiced on is being able to put my strings or put my fingers down all at the same time. Okay, so have a little go at that, and I'm sure I'll see you in the next Zoom lesson.